Howdy everybody, SevRoks back here, once again with some more World of Tanks. Today I'm going to be mixing things up a little bit and giving you guys two post-commentary games featuring the British Tier 8 medium, the Centurion Mk. These are two really phenomenal games I had in this tank that I wanted to share with you guys, and kind of an insight onto how I play my tanks and how I use tactics when I'm using my British mediums here. So this is an assault map and I'm defending on Siegfried Line, and this is some actually really good matchmaking for the Centurion Mk. There's only a couple of tier 8s and a lot of tier 6s and a couple tier 7s, so this is some phenomenal matchmaking here. And I'm going to do what I normally do when I'm defending. Well, what I've learned as of late, as far as when I'm defending in some sort of medium tank or tank destroyer, I'm going to work the south. I'm going to go around to where the tank traps start, right next to their second spawn. And I'm going to sit back and snipe when they start going into the city from their second spawn. And I found this to be a highly effective tactic, and I've really not seen too many people do it. I've seen people try to work the A line because there is that ridge there, and they failed miserably. But on this side, the defense has a very effective ridge line, which you're about to see me go behind here in a second. So I'm going to work the south side here and see if I can take out the enemies as they're going into the town. As I'm rolling up to my spot of choice, there's an M6 waiting for me. And he misses his first shot. And now I'm going to get into my little sneaky position here. I got some trees, I got some bush, and I got a beautiful hold down position. Switch to the live camera. I'm going to roll up a little bit too far and take one from the M6 to the front, and I'm going to bounce off a very sloped angle of the M6. And then I'm going to realize, okay, time to do my job, hold down, and just let him have it with my rate of fire. Now I'm going to start beating the crap out of this M6 as much as I possibly can. And then I start taking shots from the town. I believe, after now watching the replay back, I believe it's a KV-5 and a VK 360. But I switched targets here for a bit to focus on the beautiful side turret of a T-34, which I can easily pen. And he kind of looks like a derp. His gun's aiming in the air. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. But as he aims towards me, my shot's going to go low, because I thought I had a bit more of a body shot than I did. But I was incorrect. They have quite a few tanks moving up on this side, which is going to give me some nice targets. I'm poking my head up, trying to see what I can find. T-34 has made himself a target once again. That one's going to hit an angle and bounce. But the M6 has decided to move up again, but unfortunately he's going to go behind the bunker before I can grab a shot. Nothing else really revealing itself to me as of yet, except that I do have the top of the turret of another M6, as I'm going to grab him. I'm going to take about a 300 damage shot from something. I'm thinking once again it was a KV-5. There's the M6 trying to come after me. I'm going to say, no way, Jose. And as the ARL-44 is going to grab him. Now I have a shot on a VK-361H, or yeah, VK-361H. I'm going to grab him. Now there's a KV-5, but I realize I don't have that good of a shot, and it's only on his side, and his turret's looking right at me, so I'm not going to take any chances there. Instead, I switch targets and I see a E2. Take a shot. It's going to go low into the ridge, and something else is going to finish him off. Then I see an SU-100, which is giving me a beautiful back silhouette. I'm going to pick him off, and hello! We got a VK-2801. There we go, VK-2801. Decides to have a little party with me. So it's a scout with a howitzer versus a medium with a 20-pounder gun. This is going to go well for him. Not really. If he was smart, he would have tried to circle me. Granted, I can maneuver pretty quickly as far as in a 360-degree motion. But that still would have been his best bet to at least get some pen shots on me and doing this maximum amount of damage as I finish off the VK-2801. Now I realize there's not too many of them left. I have 4 kills. It's time to move in and see if I can clean up. KV-5 on very little health left. He's dueling it out with some of our tank destroyers and heavies. And I'm going to use my ability, my speed, my maneuverability over rough terrain, come up right behind him, put a shot into the back of his turret. There's the infamous T-34, which I was working on for the longest time and kept distracting me. So now I'm going to let him have it. I'm going to try to go for the engine block, but I'm just going to hit him right in the back for 216. Someone's going to put a 415 shot in him, and then there's the real engine block shot. finishing off, lighting him on fire. He's going to pop a shot, but it's going to go into the dirt. At this point, I have 6 kills. I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit happy and say GG. But it is not over yet. Many times I've had great games and I'm feeling confident. I'm like, okay, let's see if we can get one more kill, do a little bit more damage. And I decided to go 1v1 with an artillery. I only have 800 hit points versus an SU-14-2, which I think does like 1200 damage. It's risky. And I've had it many times where I've tried to go after an artillery piece, like, oh, it's just an arty, I'll be perfectly fine, and it TD modes me and does 1000 damage and kills me in one shot. I've had it happen many times. So we got some tank destroyers and mediums going left, and I decided to go right as someone's marking on the map, or 1S is lighting them up a bit. So I'm going to see if I can't grab this SU-14 without getting grabbed myself. Oh, there he is. I was really lucky, and I had my view range to be able to spot him before he could spot me. And he was far enough away, and he was moving. Right, no problem finding him. Oh, right into the gun manlet. That's just embarrassing. That's something else puts a shot in him. And I'm going to go and finish him off for my 7th kill. Well, I didn't do all too much damage. I believe at the end of that game I ended up doing 2,900 damage, which wasn't all too much. I've had a lot more games than Centurion, which I've had a lot more damage. But the flanking tactics and being able to pick off what was left was really my strong point in that game, and I was really proud of how that game ended up. Now, the next gameplay I'm going to show you is from a couple months ago, back when I had a different like little mod set up, and when I first got my Centurion Mk, I first had the crew maxed out. And this is a game on the map Port, and it's standard battle. And I'm going to show a bit more of the brawling side of this tank rather than the sniping side or the flanking side. So this was commentated right after I filmed it, so the commentary is going to be a little bit out of date. But nonetheless, hope you guys enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some more World of Tanks. For this Thursday, starting things off with a replay from a match I literally just had about 2 minutes ago with the Centurion Mk, which I shown, I believe, completely so far. And I love this thing. It's my most used tank. I have my crew fully ranked up with their first perks. I'm working on their second, about 20% in. And this was in a probably the best match I've ever had in World of Tanks so far. Incredibly proud of it, and I wanted to share it with you guys to start off today's episode. I will go do live comms for the last 2 games here once after we finish this replay, but I wanted to start things off with this. I was just playing casually, listening to some music, and I had this game. I really wanted to share it here. So we got actually a really well-tiered match. Got a lot of 8s, some 7s, and a lot of 6s. So that's pretty much ideal territory for the Centurion. And I love this map. I forget what this map is called. It's docks or something, or shoreline, something along those lines. I can't quite remember what this map is called, but I love this map because of this left side here, these hills, and also on the other side, I love it as well. I'm gonna go into fixed camera here so you guys can see my perspective of what I was doing at the time. And I came up to these hills, and I used the Centurion in what it does best, which is hold down sniping, poking your head up over a hill, because it has great gun depression for a British tank. For its kind of tank, it has brilliant gun depression. So I really used that to my advantage and held this hill almost all game. And you guys will see here what ends up coming of that. But our team has a pretty even spread. We got some guys going mid, some guys going left. We have a couple heavies on this side, but you'll see what ends up happening to them. E8 coming out, put a shot in him. You see I do have 6th Sense trained, which is so useful. I'm so glad I decided to train that, so I was able to back up knowing I was lit. VK gets a big hit from a 34, I believe. I put one in his cupola for 244. They do have a good amount of heavies on this side as well. They got a low, the Canaravon, T32, and a KV-1S. E8 puts one in my turret with a high explosive, does very small amount of damage. About 55, so that's not too big of a deal. Now this is something coming up here in a second, which I thought was pretty tricky. Canaravon on the bridge. I'm now lit, put a shot in him, go for the backup and the reload. The VK-2801 wants some of me, because he's got that howitzer, so he can do some damage if he gets through my frontal. I'm like, okay, he popped a shot, he's not going to look back at me, I'm going to fake him out. I completely intended it on shooting him. I looked away for a second, turned back, dropped the VK. They do have some really heavy hitters up here. I'm going to continue to focus on the Canary on the bridge, though. I didn't have a silhouette there, so I just kind of popped a shot, hoping it would go through the fence, but it didn't. Bounce shot on the underside of the turret of the Canaravon. Canaravon's also something I'm working on slowly. I have the, not the Panzer, what am I saying? I got the Churchill 7, and that's almost to a Black Prince, and Canaravon is something I'm interested in because I do like the British line. T-32 is getting a little ballsy as he's trying to cross the bridge here. He's going to try to cross the bridge fully. He never even saw me. I'm going to put 236 in his underside of his turret. Being on the celly, you do have such an advantage over these guys trying to cross the bridge. If someone puts one in the T-32, I finish him off. So we've taken out two of their guys. Now, one of their guys now. T-32 is the only one down, and they've taken out one of our heavies on this side. They took out the IS-3. So we're kind of a little bit losing this battle, I guess you would say. It's pretty well matched on this side, though. The other side of the team's doing well. Track on the low to hopefully stop him from getting the teammate, but he managed to grab our KV-5. I see the E8. I want the E8. Take the E8 for 90. Finish him off. T-43 is running backwards because all of our heavies on this side are down now. Low bounces on my turret because I have that insane turret armor. T-44, I don't know where he goes. He goes to actually assist Cap. And that's where he pulls off to. Canaravon, I didn't see him backing off the bridge, but Canaravon pulls back as well. And a second here is, I know the low's coming for me. The low thinks he's going to win this battle because he's got the frontal armor, but he doesn't know the turret of my gun. The turret and my gun, I should say. I call for help here because I know I'm about to get flanked. I thought the T-44 was going to come up and try to get me, but go for one in the gun mantlet of the low. Bounces because that's not really what I'm going to pen. We have about the same reload. He has a little bit slower reload than me by like a second, so I put another one in his side. That shot right there, you see my aim go way off. The low shot scared me because I was getting really intense at this point. So it kind of like threw my aim off. That's why I kind of jerked there. He puts one in me, unfortunately, for about 300. And then the low is down to one shot, so I decided to go in and rush him before he can finish reloading. 118 for the finish in the low, up to 4 kills now. As I've kind of picked up the pieces on this side here from where we lost the majority of our heavies. We do have a good amount of quality players middle here that are slowly trying to push up towards the flag as they managed to wipe our small force that was heading directly towards the flag here. And now I'm posted up back here and I realize where the Canaravon and the 44 went. Put one in the KV1S, sorry. Canaravon's kind of hiding, but I wanted to grab the 1S here real quick. Finish off the 1S. Canaravon, time to work on him some more. I see the T-34 back there as well. I want to grab a shot, but the low manages to grab a engine and sets him on fire, killing him. I'm up to 5 now, really trying to go for the top gun at this point. I really just want to grab this Canaravon, hoping the low will put one more shot. He does, and hopefully I'm going to be able to grab the Canaravon. Do I? Yes, that British accuracy manages to allow me to get the Canaravon. They still have a low on that side, so they could still win here. They still could pull out a clutch, but that low is getting completely just... He's getting his butt kicked right at this point. Take some cover behind the low. Also just trying to really get a shot. Put one in the low side. Someone else going to grab the low. I'm going to switch targets to the T-44. Just kind of hiding behind a tower. Put one into his turret. T-44, I was trying to grab him. Didn't quite have the reload time. T-44 backs off. Low is down. I have 6 at this point, so I'm happy I got the top gun. I held that side. The low came to back me up the last second. But it was too late. They had already all moved middle. All they got left is T-44 with half health, actually really low health, and a T-71 light. I'm like, can I go for 8? At this point, I'm really thinking, can I go for 8? Can I manage to grab both of them? I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go for the T-71. T-71 doesn't actually see me for a little bit, and then I get lit. I know there is a delay, but oh well. T-71 misses. I track him. I use my ramming abilities to ram the light. One into his turret. He's bouncing off my turret. That's why I'm like getting right in his face because I know he's going to bounce off the turret. Trying to ram him a little bit before the low grabs him. I grab the T-71, 4-7. Someone else grabs the T-44. And that is my best game probably to date. I know it wasn't like the most exciting, it wasn't some sort of amazing clutch, but I'll show the stats here real quick. And I was just so thoroughly pleased with my stats. It was my first 300 damage game. I think I won't actually show the stats, I'll just discuss them. I have 3,800 damage, I think. One of the lows had more damage than me, but, I mean, he's a low. He has 380 damage shot. I only do 200. And about the same reload, too. So, 3,800 damage, 7 kills, top gun, ace tanker, which is the mastery gunner. Basically, is you do better than 99% of the other players who use this tank. Which, I've been trying to get that in my Centurion. And I thought I've gotten a top gun in my Centurion before, but apparently I haven't, and that was my first top gun with the Centurion. And the very small amount of damage I took, I only took about a one shot from the low, a little bit of ram damage from the T-71, and then I took that one shot early on from the E8 with the howitzer. And so I was very happy I didn't take that much damage. I used my tank to its ability. I used its insane turret armor. I used its great gun and great gun depression. Held that hill, cleared that side, moved up and backed up the rest of the team as we were trying to move on the cap. So that is one of my best games, I think, personally, with the Centurion Mark 1 British Tier 8 medium. One of my favorite tanks to use. Actually, probably my favorite tank to use, especially since they balance the economy where you no longer go negative every game with this thing. I can use it now, and I love using it so much. So now let's go hop into some live commentary, and I'll show you guys a few games with some new tanks I got. Alright, so here's the stat page from that game I just showed. I ended up getting my mastery badge for my Centurion. Top gun, 119,000 credits and 4,000, almost 5,000 XP. And here are the stat pages for the first game I showed. 87,000 credits, 3,266 XP, 2,610 damage, 7 kills, and a really quite good game for my Centurion. Really proud of that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this different style of World of Tanks video. You can expect to see some more of these in the future. So thank you for watching, and I most definitely see you on the next one.